Hey there, I'm Andy and I've been cutting my own hair for 3 years. Today I am chatting with Ollie Wride, talented musician and cool guy. He's got a live show coming up in a few months, and people are probably just going to skip to the part where I start talking to Ollie, so let's just talk to Ollie right now. Alright, so look, I'm here right now with talented music man Ollie Wride.
How you doing,
How's it going?
I'm very
well.
good.
How are you? Oh, we got a funny delay going on. This is fun. All right. I'll leave a 1 second space after I say anything.
Do you want to start that again? Just say hello.
No, listen, this is all perfect. So today, Ollie's got some exciting news. I've not spoken with you in a year, if we assume that we didn't already talk earlier today on the phone. But tell everybody what's going on.
God, has it been a year? I swear it's been longer than a year, but
Oh, well then maybe it's been 2 years. Oh wait, no, yeah, because it was whenever you put out the last album, the first album.
That's 2019.
And we did a little catch up to follow up on the fact that when you filmed that music video, there was a slight car incident.
Crash.
And so I think, I wanted to touch base with you again just to make sure your neck was fine.
Yeah. No, that was Christ. I mean, what's time anymore? It's been like 3 years, so we've sort of entered into this space-time wormhole void, and I've lost all sense of what time is. So I've just been robbed of a few years. So, God, well, since the last time we spoke, throughout the pandemic, I think once I finally adjusted to the reality of that interminable madness, I got to work on what is now my second record. It was a really interesting time because I mean, maybe you felt this as well, but you know, when you're first sort of confronted with a little bit of alone time and some introspection, and you thought, oh, maybe I'll pick up that hobby that I never really indulged in, or this will be a good time for me to read or watch loads of films, and you know, a clean slate, as it were. And I think after about 3 days of that, I I started to lose my marbles because, you know, I sort of crave contact and interaction with people, and a large part of my job is predicated on the basis of performing and being around lots of people and getting life experience that way. So to be robbed of that for so many years, it was really, really difficult. So it kind of informed like my songwriting and this new record that I've been working on. And for the first time in a long time, actually, I started working with other writers further afield, different record labels and publishers. And I hadn't done that since I started my career, because that was how I earned my crust when I started out. It was a little bit strange because we were writing from separate parts of the globe, and usually when you're in a writing session, for example, you're feeding off the energy and you're counterpointing one another's ideas and finishing one another's sentences, and the vibe is just it's palpable. So when you're doing that from the other side of the computer screen, it was a little bit unusual for me. But I gradually found my footing with it and made some friends for life, and I just kept writing and writing and writing because I had nothing else to do, and I suppose for the first time ever, I had the luxury of this abundance of time, and so it allowed me to make a lot of songs with a complete lack of self-consciousness and sort of editing myself. And so I ended up with like 200 songs by in the 2 years. And I was like, this is ridiculous. But out of that, I whittled it down to 12, and it formulated this new record, which I'm immensely proud of. And it sounds killer. Naturally, I'm biased, of course, but I think working with other people, it forced me to up my game and view things from a slightly different perspective, rather than just being in my little world. And above everything else, you always want to have great songs, but I wanted it to sound like an expensive record, like a proper body of work. And there's loads of live playing on it. It's got all the synthesizers and 80s goodness, but it delves deeper into my direct influences. I mean, it's no secret, like, I'm a huge Bowie fan, and Peter Gabriel and Bruce Springsteen. He's played sort of big part of my the fabric of this record, and so yeah, I took my time with it and worked with a lot of different people. So there was the guys from St. Lucia, my friend who's in the 1975, he plays sax for them, John Woff. Even some guys I was working with down in London who write all of the Korean BTS K-pop stuff. You know, completely different worlds from me, but they had a huge part to play with the production, and marrying their world with mine, it's sort of yielded a really interesting record. So fast forward, I completed the record, went back to LA, the first opportunity I had when borders were open, and made some videos, reconnected with Brad Kanan, who filmed all of my videos, and I worked with him. We got the old crew back together. Also, David Schuler, he directed 3 of the videos, and he's the Bad Dreamers, and joined me and Cole on the FM tour a few times. I sort of got this vast catalogue of, I don't want to say content, but art ready to go. And so now I'm on the precipice of or about to jettison it out into the world. And the focal point is this first show back, kind of where it all started, in Los Angeles. And it's both terrifying and exciting.
So are you going to be singing any Korean on this album? See, I was listening.
That was well timed. No, dear. Is those guys? Again, I didn't think that it would work. I mean, usually, my manager at the time was sort of forcing me upon various publishers and fixers to get me into the studio just to try and write with new people, and these guys came up, and they were big fans of mine. So that's usually a good start. And you never know what to expect. So I went down to these studios in London, West London, called Matrix Complex, which is a huge complex of studios and production rooms and recording facility and publishing offices. And they had a sort of production suite in there. It was really nice. And it looked like a jungle. They'd sort of hung this artificial foliage and palm trees in there with neon lights, and I was like, I can get on with these guys. I like the choice of decor, and we wrote a killer song on the first day, and we just all clicked. And then we did more, and they introduced me to other people, and it felt really good. It was like a catalyst to really get going on the new record, and it really sort of reaffirmed a bit of self-belief, because I was kind of, the last time we talked, things were kind of on this upward trajectory. I just put out the album. I'd come off the FM 84 tour, done a few solo shows that had sold out, and it was going like this. And then the rug was pulled from underneath me and the rest of the world. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise, perhaps, but it was also very difficult to wrestle with for quite a while mentally. And so I thought, well, rather than stew and wallow, I'm going to get on and be creative and try and turn the page and do something really special that I'm really, really proud of. So, yeah.
All right. So, but the bottom line is there's the album that comes out, but before that, you are going to be doing a live performance. That's what all this hubbub is about, right?
Yes. This is why you dragged me on here. To prostitute myself.
Yes.
Yes. So the last show that I did was at the end of 2021 in London, and it was my biggest solo show to date, and that was great. It had the full band lineup going, and it really sort of instilled a lot of confidence in me to be like, okay, let's branch out a little bit further and let's try another key city. And of course, I wanted to be armed with a new record. And so it took me a little while to get it together, but here we are. One of the most popular cities for my music, or people who know music that I've been involved with, is Los Angeles. And that's where it kind of, a lot of it started for me and Cole. It's FM 84. I've played it a few times before with FM and the Midnight, and it's always been a wonderful reception. Always a sellout crowd, always a good time. And I thought, you know what, there comes a point, Andy, where you just have to be like, I've got to roll the dice and put a bet on myself and take the chance. And if you're in a position to be able to stump up the scratch to go and do it, I think you owe it to yourself, but also the fans who've supported you. Because the longer you hold out, interest wanes, people move on, and the world changes. And I you know, after being cooped up for 2 years, this is like the earliest possibility, you know, opportunity. I promised myself, like, I've got to do this. I've got to do this, and I want it to be right, and I want to feel confident in doing it, and I want to have something new to say, but also I want to give the people what they want and play the stuff that people know me for, stuff from the first album, and of course show off some of the new stuff. And where better to do that, like in one of the most famous music venues in the world, and arguably one of the most legendary venues in Los Angeles.
So when is this show? You're very verbose, but people want to know the details. That's what this show's all about, details. Okay. Come on.
So you can, like, come on. I always like to give context. You know, it's just me. I think I'm sort of espousing like the Lord of the Rings, and you're like, Chapter 1.
Listen. Context be damned. All right, you're playing at the Troubadour. Right. It's all very exciting. Okay. Come
on. Okay. Yes, Troubadour. June 15th. That's a Thursday. Thursday, the 15th of June. Thursday, 15th.
Yeah. And this is cool because you're going there with like a full band and stuff, right?
It is a full band. It's drums, bass, keys, saxophonist. Everyone sings. I play as well, run around, and full light show. It's like a full-on production. It's basically the similar sort of show that I've managed to put on in the UK, but I'm taking it to America. And it's no one's seen an Ollie Wride solo show in America before, and certainly nobody has really heard perhaps some of the older songs with a full band as well. So it really elevates it to a different place.
This is all the lead up to this album, of course. So when are people going to get a taste?
So the first single is going to be coming out next month. I'm going to be releasing or announcing more details on the exact dates. But the reason why it's taken a little bit longer than I expected is because I partnered with Sony to put out the new album and the singles, and the details take a little bit longer to thrash out. Everything has to be considered and measured, and you know, I suppose there are pros and cons to a situation, but ultimately it's for the betterment of the music to get it to a wider audience. So the first single will be coming out next month, and then that will take us into the show, which will coincide with a pre-order announcement of the new album. And then I will be releasing subsequent singles all the way up to the release of the album, which will be in September, I believe.
Now that you have this sort of connection with Sony, I think you should petition to have one of your tracks in Morbius 2.
Morbius 2? That sounds like a synthesizer. Morbius
was a real hit film for Sony in the Marvel Universe. You know, as Jared Leto as a vampire. And
oh god, okay, forgive me, my
the joke is that there is not going to be a Morbius 2.
I heard Morbius was a flop.
It was. Oh yeah.
Right.
So that's
okay. I'm with you.
Let's try that again. You should petition to have one of your songs in Morbius 2.
Good one, Andy.
Just got. We have fun.
That's great humor.
Well, listen, man, I'm going to dub in an audience laughter noise.
All right, okay. I see what you did there, because Morbius 2, it wasn't a hit.
Yeah, well, Morbius 2 definitely wasn't a hit because it doesn't exist. But like, the point is, what I'm happy about all this thing is that you bounce back on your feet. You're here. I like this message about investing in yourself. You know, I took that to heart and put nearly $20 of my own money into this set, and some lights as well that I found in a dumpster someplace.
Well, it shows. No, it says a lot. I'm not being facetious. No, you look great. That was my opening gambit to all of this. I said that you look great.
Well, we weren't recording when that was happening, so I'll just...
All right.
We can
You look great.
Well, thank you, Ollie. Well, you obviously you do too, and that's what people can look forward to. Definitely, you are the top song and dance man. You've got costume changes, and you put in a lot of energy, and there's a lot of vibrance to it. I remember it. I know this sounds stupid now, but I mean, like, it was very like energetic and awesome performance that made me feel alive.
Amazing. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I like to go hell for leather. I think I said to you beforehand, it's the best fun that you can have with your clothes on.
Do you keep all the suits, or do you like sell them afterwards to people who might want to?
I've sold 2 of them, and to be honest, I do need to have a bit of a clear out because there's some that I just wouldn't wear again. Especially the last time I mean, on that long tour, you know, they really took a hammering. The lining gets, I mean, and then I worked with this guy called Ray Brown. He's an amazing rock and roll tailor, and so all of the stuff that I wear of his is more or less indestructible. You can do anything to it. It's incredible. So that's the stuff that I exclusively wear now on stage. It's like no crotch accidents.
Well, who was that artist that happened to?
Lenny.
Yeah,
Lenny
yeah.
His tallywhacker broke free of his pantaloons. And,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
he's got nothing to be ashamed about.
No. It seemed all impressive. Everything I wear now has like a certain percentage of spandex in it.
That's always a good way to go with a little bit of flex in there. So, you know, God forbid, in the eventuality, or in the unlikely event, or in the event, if your cock falls out, well, there's going to be no risk of it happening.
Right, exactly. Although maybe to make sales, you know, like you want things more exciting, so you always want to give people the opportunity that it could happen, right? So that people get all excited to go.
Yeah, exactly. There's like this element of danger, like, and this precariousness that some skin could emerge.
So are you, because we're recording this, what the hell is this, March?
This is March 17th.
When do you start like practicing? Are you practicing now or like?
Yes, so there's like a few different phases of the prep stage. Firstly, you assemble the crew, well, the band and the crew. So this is kind of like a pretty lean setup in terms of crew, but it involves obviously the 4-piece band, and including myself, it's a 5-piece band. So it's approaching those guys, making sure that they've got the set list, then giving them all of the individual stems that they're going to be learning. Then you give them the live arrangements. Then I have to prepare, because we do use bits of playback in the set, which the band play along with, and that thickens up the sound. So I have to prepare the show for playback. Then it's lots of liaising with my tour manager, and he liaises with the rehearsal studios and the front of house engineer, who's my front of house engineer. And then there's a lighting designer that did all of the lights on the FM tour. He's coming with us. And then I have to basically give them all of the reference material, give them all the notes, tell them exactly what I want, cue sheets, and it's just a mountain of work. Maybe I just get too involved in everything, but I'm a real stickler for detail. And, you know, when lights hit certain cues, and although it's only like 500 people, I like every show to sort of have a level of consistency and a real strong production element to it. And it's because I want people to come away from it having been to a show. It's not just a gig, it's an experience, and an hour and a half to forget about your crap and just immerse yourself in something that's fun and enjoyable and sing along, but it's got that drama and anticipation. And so the preparation, for me at least, is all of that sort of nitty gritty delegation, and then of course making sure that I can afford it. So, and then I have to start learning the songs myself, or relearning in some cases. There's certain songs I haven't sung in a long time, and so I have to sort of retrain, and a lot of it's muscle memory as well. There's some really challenging songs in there, and you work out how to do them through good preparation. I couldn't just go and do it tomorrow. So,
are you gonna sing Wild Ones?
yes.
I just have to check that off the list. Yes, excellent.
Yes, I am.
It's a good song.
I am. I'm gonna be. I'm. Well, I was having a good chat with Cole about all of it, and he's been super, super supportive. We both just realised that. Look, if one of us is performing, these are songs that we both created together, and they will outlast either of us. But if we can breathe new life into them and marry them with what we're doing now, it's good for both of us. It's sort of carrying the flag on, and so they're great songs, and they haven't been played in a long time. So I think it's a balance as far as constructing a set. It's like giving people what they know, what they want, but also intersplicing it with new stuff and making it exciting and interesting. So, yeah.
I have a stupid question.
Ask away.
If you're doing it with Sony, does that mean you can still sell it on Bandcamp? Or will it only be in like the iTunes and those sorts of things?
No. The unique way, without going into the finite details of
Hold up your contract in front of the webcam so we can...
Yeah. So the unique thing about this is that firstly it's a subsidiary of Sony, but it basically means it operates as an independent under the umbrella of a major. So it has like the infrastructure and the support network there of a major. But it's a small team of people, and because going into this album, I own it all. I wrote it, made it, produced it. All the videos are mine, the artwork's mine, all the IP is something that I grew, and they've come on board. So now it's like a 50-50 effort in terms of the infrastructure that they can bring to elevate what I'm doing. So for starters, I don't have to give away, I'm sure you've heard of 360 deals, where they take revenue from all of your sources of income. Whereas this is just pertaining to the record itself, and the focus is on this record. It doesn't pertain to anything else, and it reflects digital and physical sales. But of course, they'd get a slice of Bandcamp. I could still sell it on Bandcamp, of course.
Okay, yes, yeah, that's the thing I never understood, because I guess like whenever I imagine like the bigger companies, like they might look down at Bandcamp as being like, but Bandcamp's pretty big, right?
Yeah, Bandcamp's a huge organization.
I don't know why I'm asking you this. I'm just...
No, it's just my take on it. I mean, and also, as I say, this is just relating to this one album. So, my other stuff can exist in other areas. But yeah, this will be on Bandcamp as well.
Well, that's exciting, because that's where I like to buy my music.
Thank you. That's where I like to take your money. Yeah.
All right, so then cool. So that's the bottom line, right? So people got to go. They want to watch you live, so they should go buy tickets. Will there still be tickets by the time I post this interview?
Well, it's actually selling a lot faster than I thought. So I know, like in the first half an hour, all of the VIP sold out, and a good slice of the general admission went as well. So I'm hoping, touch wood, it keeps going. So if people do want to buy a ticket, they can either go to olliewride.com or troubadour.com and buy tickets there.
And so if I post this thing and they go there and the tickets are sold out.
If they're sold out, then tough luck. No. If the tickets are sold out, we'll either look at doing a venue upgrade, so a bigger venue, or I'm just going to have to get my ass back to LA sooner than I expected, which I want to do either way.
What would honestly happen? Let's say the magical world, tickets sell like 10 times more than you ever anticipated. You're like, we want to sell this many, and all of a sudden it's like 10,000 people bought tickets. Like, what would happen in that case? Listen, let's pie in the sky here, right? We're all...
If 10,000 people bought it and we needed to hire an arena, then Jesus, then we would go to the promoter and say we need an arena, and then they would negotiate an offer.
What about 3 shows a day at the same venue for a week?
Oh God, hell no. My voice wouldn't be able to take that. or you could do a show that the day after or something. But I think realistically, what it would be is a venue upgrade. But again, I sort of approach these things with cautious optimism. You know, it's only a done deal until it's sold out, and I never take it for granted. It's like you put your music out into the world, and it's there for people to consume or negate, and you just hope people are still interested. And you know, I'm announcing the show without having put out any new music for a while, and so it's basically just like almost like a cold start, blowing off the dust. But also they haven't seen a solo show before, so that's going for me. And of course people love those old songs as well. Those are the sort of the calling cards, I guess.
I think people are clamoring for more live stuff, especially now, you know, when everyone's concerned about like AI stuff and like, oh, you know, in a week's time, you know, AI is going to be making the music and all that stuff for everybody. And I think that's just going to reinvigorate the need for live performance, because that's like the one thing that the AI won't be able to do. But I still think people want to see some stuff. I know I do.
I hope so. I mean, I know there's the ABBA show in London at the O2, and they like produce these holograms, and apparently it's an amazing experience. But again, you're going into it knowing that what you're seeing isn't real. And so I think it's ultimately people, especially after 2 years have been cooped up, it's just you can't substitute that, the sort of transcendental experience of being in a room with a load of other people for sort of one purpose and one interest. And I think it's a great unifier. And I think the world is divided enough, and I think that's the power of, I mean, of course, art, music, movies, they still divide opinion, and that's preference. But if you're buying a ticket as part of a group, you know what you're letting yourself in for. So I think there's always that community spirit going to do that. You're all on the same side, or at least it's my job to make sure that everybody's on the same side, and just enjoy that experience, because I don't think there's no substitute for it. And you feel, especially coming away from a good show, it really alters your mood, and it's part of life experience, and it's a unique emotion, I feel, you know, going to concerts and also playing concerts. So yeah, I have faith. I am an eternal optimist. So I believe in people craving realism and seeing beyond sort of the transient nature of social media and AI. And I think AI, I view it as more as my friend was telling me, it's like an excellent resource tool. I think for example, like for mood boards and coming up with concepts.
I was thinking that as well, yeah, for people who, because, you know, there's so many nightmare stories, especially if you're friends with, like, you know, visual artists, you know, working for companies where they just give them really dumb notes and it's really annoying to get the ball rolling. And so I thought in those terms, I'm like, well, AI is perfect if you need to get the ball rolling, and someone's just telling like, I need a kid and a balloon, and it's for an insurance company, and there's got to be a little house and a cloud, and then you just whip up a thing, multiple versions, and then when the client says that's the thing I want, then you go and use that as the template to do some proper art. I mean, I feel like that's where,
I think that's a really positive way of utilizing it. I think if you're solely reliant on it, I think that is morbid. And also it's fucking lazy. Where's there is no ingenuity, or creativity. By it's taking something that is algorithmic and data driven and trying to pass that off as something that is creative. And I don't subscribe to that at all. But I do think it's a good way to get the ball rolling, as far as like, you need to come up with a concept or need to ask it a question where perhaps you may not find the resource material, you know, on the generic World Wide Web.
I mean, that's the way I feel about it. It's like there's some people who are trying to take more credit for what they're doing. Like there's people like, but I wrote the right keywords. I found the right keywords, and like it's ridiculous. Like I personally,
I think that's a load of bollocks. I think I wrote the right keywords. It's just, Jesus Christ. where's the sense of accomplishment or achievement? And everybody it just seems like people like that are just, it's like a get rich quick scheme. It's just,
Yeah.
how can you expect to ever have a sense of accomplishment or fulfillment if you're just sort of half-arsing it and just taking the easy part? I don't know. I think there's a greater sense of accomplishment and fibrousness or wholesomeness, setting out, learning your craft, slaving away at it, chipping away at it, failing, lots of failing and learning, and then coming out on top. Because ultimately, isn't that what life's about? It's about that sort of element of exploration and sort of finding your purpose and your standing in relation to your surroundings, and maybe sort of gleaning something that interests you and pursuing it. And I don't know, maybe that's my sort of fartsy way of looking at things, but I take comfort in that, and I don't rely on technology in that regard. I think we're all reliant on technology, but I don't use it as the vessel. I'm the vessel. I'm the conduit. I don't use it as that, because I think that's a dangerous path, which people already do tread. So these are the droids you're looking for.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, man, listen.
Star Wars.
Yeah. The point is, tickets on sale, Troubadour, June
15th. Well, no. Well, the show is on the 15th.
The show is on the 15th. So go. I'll post links underneath this thing if there's still stuff available. But if there isn't, they should still try anyways, because then maybe it'll be a sign that they need to
upgrade,
or as Ollie said earlier, he'll do 3 shows a day from the same venue for a week. That's confirmed. He said his voice can take it. He's a strong boy. He's had 2 years to practice, because only for 3 days, the second the pandemic started, he had 3 days to watch movies. What movies did you watch in that 3 days?
Bloody hell, you've literally just falsified everything that I've said to you. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Oh, God. Do you know what one of the first movies I watched actually during the pandemic was a movie called The Fourth Protocol with Michael Caine and Pierce Brosnan, and it's a brilliant sort of Cold War era thriller, spy thriller, which is fucking awesome. 1987.
I've never heard of that.
Honestly, it's one of the best thrillers ever.
I just watched a movie called Miami Connection, which was really awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, it might be a slightly different caliber than The Fourth Protocol, but whatever. So, Point is, that's happening. Go buy tickets to your show. And
yes, please.
A new album is coming out.
Yes.
There's no official date of release, right?
There's no official date of release, but that will be announced imminently.
Okay, so that's exciting. And
vague details.
Yeah. That's my favorite part about always like recording interviews for the podcast and listening back to old episodes and all the stuff that people couldn't talk about. And just the way that it dates interviews, where it's just like, and I've got a new thing coming up. I can't talk about it yet. When you listen like 7 years later, it's just like, what the hell's the secret, you know?
I know. It's ridiculous, but alas, I can't talk about it yet.
You want to say some final thoughts before I hang up on you?
Boo!
Yeah, it's coming. I'm got my finger on the button.
Well, firstly, it's been lovely to see you and talk to you after so long, mate, because it has been far too long, and I really appreciate you having me on your new fandangled, reupholstered, vajazzled, high-spec'd, triple fried,
Keep going.
Reinforced,
More words,
galvanized show. And I always have a good time chatting with you, and I really appreciate you shouting about my show, which I hope people will come to.
Yeah. Well, look, man, it'll be good. You put on a good thing. and
Try.
you put on
I
a
really
good
try.
thing. That's but it is true. Like whenever anyone would talk about like live show stuff, like I always just say like, you know, like Ollie's like you put on a good show. I'm trying to say this in a way where I'm not like disparaging other people, so like it's just
No, it's okay. You can disparage other people. No. I really appreciate it, and I put my heart and soul into it, so it really means a lot. It genuinely means a lot, and I also love it. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. So it's hopefully that comes across.
Yeah. So listen, it was lovely talking to you.
Always a pleasure.
And keep on being a cool guy.
You too.
And for everybody else watching, I'll catch up with Ollie again on Beyond Synth.
Yes.
But that'll be closer to the album release date.
Yes, it will.
But we don't know what that is, so it's a fucking surprise. But we all like surprise. So anyways, you have a lovely evening.
You too.
And go and master that record.
I thought you were going to say something else there.
Oh, I could have.
Have a lovely
Sorry.
evening and go and master that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm horrible at goodbyes. I'm gonna hang up on you now.
All right, fuck off.
All right, take care, dude.
All right, mate. Thanks, man.
Bye.